Hey, what's up, everybody? Today I'm going to go over some of your comments on the Philippine culture changed me on that video. Um, I speak a lot of times in my videos, especially when it pertains to me, my personal life. It's coming from the heart. Okay, so when I speak in this video, I'm speaking um, just how I feel. And the Philippine culture in general, just that the way of living, the way that you are so humble, the way that you just take in your family the way that you do. See, here in the States, we're not used to that. In most cases here, when you turn 18 years old, you're considered to be an adult. So that means you're expected. You're expected to get your act together, get out there, get a job, not always necessarily leave the home, but I would say by the age of maybe 20, the age of 20, possibly 21, it's like, yeah, you need to be out on your own. In the Philippines, it's not like that. Everybody sticks together. The love that I see when I'm there, it's mind-blowing to me, only because you can't compare two different cultures. But see, here in America, in my opinion, this is my opinion, the family value is no longer there. They lost that. Family time at the dinner table, they lost that. Everything here is about who is going to, we got to have two cars, we got to have a boat, we got to have this, we got to do this, we got to have everything, and it's such a fast-paced lifestyle here that, a good example was yesterday. My wife and I had gone to a grocery store, and there was only just a few very small items needed. So my wife went inside, and I waited for her in the car. And I'm watching these people, and I'm not a judgmental person, man. I'm really not. God has taught me a long time ago not to judge on people. But I watch these people race their cars into a parking spot, and just how fast they get out of their cars and how fast they walk into the store. Everybody is just in a hurry, no matter what it is. Nobody wants to take a deep breath and just relax a little bit, take it easy. It's not like that here. So in the Philippines, the Philippine culture, yes, it is different. It's a good different. You see, it's a good different. It's not a bad different. I see just how much more laid back the lifestyle is. And it's like you've taken many deep breaths and just relax. There's just so many things about the Philippine culture on how you are in general that just, I love it. I love everything about it. If anything, maybe you should come over to the U.S. and show the U.S. people here just what it's really about, the way that it should be. At one time, in younger years, so I say, well, younger, yeah, I guess younger, going back in time, it was like that. Family was very, very important. Okay? But it's not like that today. Every single day, That's all you see is people racing to get from A to B. They don't have time to do anything. It's actually kind of disturbing. But that's just my opinion. That's what I see every day. So a lot of you have left comments on this video, and I thank you for that. A lot of really good comments. Here is one from, I hope y'all don't mind me using your, using your name. It's not really your name, but you know what I'm saying. Cyber Kramer, I hope I'm saying that right. It's not about the money, okay? It's really about till death do you part. And it's the culture and the upbringing is what makes us the way that you are. And yeah, of course it is. Now, I guess for all of us, if you were brought up that way, that's the way of life that you know. So, yeah, let's take a look here at maybe some of these comments. Richard Blandy is saying that he feels the same way while married to his Filipino. After 22 years, his plans are to retire in the Philippines, just as me. And that YouTube's a great place. It's a great help while you're here in the States to connect. Of course it is, yeah. Lena Obleson, glad to hear you found your true love in the Philippines. God bless you both. Thank you. She is like a true love. When you're teenagers, you're growing up, you connect with somebody from school or something, you know what I mean? And you think it's like the love of your life. You're still growing and you're still learning, and you realize that's not the case. And as you get older and you start maturing, okay, you start maturing and becoming more responsible in your life. You find, if you find that true love, the one that was meant for you to be with, it's an amazing ride. Honestly, it's an amazing ride. And what I meant basically in the video was, American women, I'm not putting them down, but it's just different. It's different. You see, it's different. And a lot of people think, foreigners, bring, their wives, their girlfriends from other countries into this country. It's just it's just a green card thing. It's a ticket to the U.S. That's not the case, man. Listen, that's a bunch of crap. Okay? My wife has been here for 5 years, and there's not a day that doesn't go by that she misses her family, wants to go back home to see her family. 8,000 miles away on the other side of the globe, your family is going about their life just as we are here. And we look on the computer screen yeah. Sorry, guys. But you look on the computer screen and you see, you know, your nieces and nephews getting older. Mom and dad getting older. That's tough. That's tough. It's not easy. It's not easy. You know, I love my family in the Philippines probably just as much as my wife loves her family. I love everything about them. I care dearly for them. So, you know, this video is kind of going in a different direction, and I really don't. I don't really care. It's very, you know, it's very real. The experience is very, very real. Oh, you know, you come to the United States. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, you can get that decent job where you can start providing for the family back home. Okay. And that's a good thing. See, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. But when you're not there in the physical and you see them growing, you see mom and dad, like I said, getting older. We were in a situation to where my wife's dad, my father-in-law, ended up in the hospital. My wife was a total wreck. A total wreck. Because in the Philippines, when something like that happens, everybody comes together. Everybody comes together. In the physical, you're there. My wife was here, 8,000 miles away. And it had such an effect on her physically and mentally. That, you know, she could have very easily boarded a plane and gone back. Okay? But she knew that her dad was being taken care of. We were helping with that to make sure that he was being taken care of. That experience alone, it was one of the things that I had talked to my wife about prior to coming over here, and I had told her, when you come here, we need to make sure we have an emergency fund so that if something was to happen, you can board a plane to get back home. That's very important. I don't know if a lot of people really think about those things. You know, people come over here, everything's great, you know, you could be, you know, making money, you're sending money back home. I'm not saying it's like that for everybody, y'all. I'm just basically saying, you know, for my wife and I, it was very, very important to make sure that there was an emergency fund there to get back to the Philippines if needed. Okay, that's very important. Listen, guys. My wife has changed my life in a way that it's really kind of hard to describe. Okay? I have started to let go of a lot of my habits that I had here in the States in my life, my lifestyle, to become more of what you are and what you're all about. Like I said, I love everything about the Philippines. Kind of got off track there a little bit, but I'm being real about this. When you meet somebody and you have a good relationship and the two of you were meant to be, your marriage is just out of this world. And that's the way my marriage is. It's out of this world. Are you perfect? No, nobody's perfect. But it's these other things, okay, that it will attack you. Christmas time especially, New Year's time especially. I seen the effect that it had on my wife. Now my wife has been here in the States for 5 years, spent Christmas and New Year's here for 5 years, and we both said, you know what, 2018, we will be spending Christmas in the Philippines with her family, and we will be spending the New Year as well in the Philippines. Now I hear y'all are crazy, but in a good kind of crazy around these times of the year. But I'm happy that we're going back to the Philippines around Christmas time. I'm looking forward to that. I can't wait. Not the traffic. Traffic's always been with me. Yeah. Traffic man, I can't even describe it to people here. Anyhow. So, I'm hoping that I get some of these names correct because, I'm not the greatest when it comes to this sort of thing. Carmencita says, yes, in Philippines, not rich in money, but the most perfect, what rich have in the Philippines is a rich heart. Rich heart, y'all. You're so lucky that you married a Filipina. Because mostly other countries, they look and judge at poor countries, but only have is a good heart. Well, thank you for that comment. And I knew right off that my wife was not in it for the money. I mean, these sort of things, you just know. You just know. People have to do their homework. If a foreigner... I've had some men contact me and ask me for my advice because they're going into the Philippines and they're meeting somebody for the first time. You have to do your homework. Okay? Don't do it after talking for just a month. That's not going to happen. You have got to get to really know this person. Okay? And there are things to watch for to make sure that you're not going to be scammed. Now, it can happen here too. A foreigner from another country could be scammed from somebody here. It happens equally. It doesn't matter. But you got to do your homework. I spoke to my wife by video every single day. Now here's the thing. I had a professional tell me to do this. I'm going to share this with you. If you're talking to somebody on video, how do you really know that that video is actually a live video? Because you have scammers that have a way of using video, okay, to try to get money from people. There are people that fall for this all the time. There's certain things that you do to make sure you're not being scammed. You need to make sure that when you're speaking to that person, you're speaking to them in the here and now, that it is a live video. For example, I want you to take your right hand Okay? I want you to touch your tip of your nose 3 times. Okay? This is what I did with my wife, and she thought I was crazy. Use your left hand 3 times. Smile, raise eyebrows, things like that. If they're doing it as you speak, then it's in the here and now. You got to be careful with that stuff. Scammers have ways of, seriously, they have ways of getting people. They have the equipment. There's just ways. Trust me, there's ways that they do it that really fools people. But anyhow, back to some of these comments. This video, I don't want it to be too long. My wife will be with me in some of the other videos. She's not in this one. Angelica says, I bet she feels lucky to have you too. You seem to have only but kind words about her, and that says something about you. Well, thank you, Angelica. You know, I just speak the truth. That's who I am, and that's how I feel, and that's the way that is. Patricia Hill says that most Filipino women value their families, but there are also some who are home wreckers. Family to us means everything. But there are also some who are home wreckers. Are you talking about family members that are home wreckers, or the foreigner coming in as a home wrecker? I'm not exactly sure on that one. Maybe some of y'all can leave a comment on that one, because I'm a little confused with that. But there are also some who are home wreckers. Not exactly sure with that. Anyhow, do a few more here, because I noticed that we're racking up the minutes here on the video. Let's see. Epi, I hope I said that right. EPI, Epi. I could sense this wow. What was that? I can sense the sincerity of your words. Consider yourself lucky to have found a Filipina who has many good traits. But keep in mind that there are also Filipino women who are the exact opposite of what you were describing. I mean, this goes for all women in general. Well, I don't need to keep that in mind, because I truly don't believe that my wife is the type to come here, scam me, to, you know. My wife has never given me any kind of, I never felt any kind of coldness in our relationship. She's just not like that. My wife had 4 years of college in the Philippines. My wife was working a full-time job. She was very responsible. And, you know, the thing about it is, the time that I was searching, she was searching. And I'm going to share this story with y'all real quick. When I was searching online, I was looking locally here in the United States, here where I live. And I had international contacts blocked. They were blocked completely, so that I wasn't getting any international contact. Only because I've had others tell me about how they've been scammed, this and that, and I just didn't want to, you know, get involved with that. I didn't want anything to do with that. So I'm searching locally, and up pops my wife's first name. Okay, Philippines. I'm like, yeah, I don't think so. How did that happen? So I go back into my settings to make sure that that was blocked, and it was. So I just ignored it. It happened again. And I'm like, you know, this shouldn't be happening. Why is this happening? I think it was the next day. I didn't really think anything of it, y'all. I just kind of blew it off. It wasn't, you know. The next day, the same thing. I'm like, wow. Okay, so I clicked on her name, and that very moment when she popped up, we spoke every single day for a little over a year. We did not miss a day. Not one day did we miss speaking to one another by video. And y'all, how I know this was meant to be was because I was going through a really difficult time in my life around that time. And this was back 2009 going into 2010. And I basically gave it to God. And I said, Lord, if you have somebody for me, then so be it. But I'm giving it to you. There's no other explanation for that one. Sorry. But that's my little story, my little testimony, I guess, for how the two of us have met. And we believe that God has brought us together because around the same time, she was going to retreats and she was praying for the same thing, for, God to provide her with the man of his choosing. So listen, y'all, prayer works. And when you give things directly to God, you give it all to God, He's going to take care of you. So this video is now around 26 minutes, so I think I'm going to need to cut this short. We'll have some other videos coming with the wife. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to answer some of your comments. And listen, y'all, it doesn't matter where you are in the world. It doesn't matter. Everybody deserves to have that special person come into their life, to spend your life with that person, because none of us are meant to spend it alone. God does not want any of us to spend our life on earth alone. Unless, of course, you become a nun or something like that. That's your choosing to want to serve God and, things like that. But a lot of times we all just need to be patient and wait. And quit trying so hard on yourself, yourself to try to do it the right way when chances are you're not doing it the right way. I learned to just put it in God's hands and let Him provide. Let Him give you the one that He has chosen for you. And that's exactly how it went down in my life. And I can't honestly describe to you how humble and how much just how happy I am in my life with my wife. And it's just unbelievable. The feeling is unbelievable. Trust me. Anyhow, y'all, keep it real. Be real about it. And love that one that you're with. Okay? Because that one that you're with is that's your sidekick. That's the love that's in your heart with each other. Take care of each other. And Philippine culture has changed me, because 25 years ago, you wouldn't see me sitting here or anywhere talking like this. It's that Philippine culture that changed me as a person. And I'm forever grateful. I'm grateful to God for making all this possible and for making me happy. Okay? But you just got to be smart about how you go about finding that partner. Keep it real. Love the ones you're with. And I'll talk to you guys later.